Kia ora koutou. Welcome to Sport Waitākere Coffee Chat, brought to you today from the Good Home on Lincoln Road. I'm Mick Coulter, Community Coaching Club Lead for Sport Waitākere, and today I'm having a coffee with Zane Polkington, a local rugby league player come coach. And earlier this year in our West Auckland Coach Network, we shared our best coaching quotes, and Zane had the most popular. So today we're going to explore coaching through your quote. Zane, welcome.
Hey mate, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Zane, the first coffee chat. How does that feel?
Excited. It's the best things. Sport and coffee.
Sport and coffee.
Never bad, mate. Never bad.
Very good. Now, Zane, played a lot of your rugby league locally for many years with Glenora, I believe, and then a little bit of a stint at Point Chev, and then there was a quick shift from playing into coaching, and now you're out at Maris. Do you mind sharing a bit of your journey, I guess?
Yeah, junior football was mostly in Newland at Newland Stags. As it's only a junior club, we went over to Glenora to play topside there. 11 years playing with the topside club at Glenora was enjoyable. Some of my best footy, some of my best parties, but a lot of learning. I had some great coaches, Bernie Perenara, Jeff Norton from Northcote. It was just learning the heart of football. Grunter, my old man, was coaching at Point Chev, so I thought I'd go do my last stint under him. Had a couple of real bad head knocks during my career, but suffered a bad one the last year and pretty much got told to stop playing. So what do you do when you've got itchy feet and you can't play no more? You jump into coaching. So I jumped into coaching and went straight into reserve grade under the old man. I was going to do a stint back at Glenora, but it's hard when he tells me to come join him. So I had a run at Point Chev for 3 years in reserve grade. Very successful, won a couple of titles, but enjoyed it. Yeah,
it's interesting. You talk about that itchy feet, and once you're a player, what do? You go into coaching. So I guess the question I'm looking for is, how's your coaching evolved from that time of when you first went, oh geez, I can't play anymore, actually I might try coaching, to where it is now?
It changed quite a lot. When I first jumped in, I was still only 29 when I first started coaching, and the boys, I went from being the boys to telling the boys how to behave better on the field or behave better in the club. So there was always that going from mateship to coaching was hard to separate. But I really enjoyed it. You know, I was so fresh in the sport. Some of the coaches were in their 40s, 50s. I was still a young buck who kind of knew how we should play football. Well, I thought I knew how we should play football, and really just developed as I went. It was a lot of learning, a lot of understanding how to deal with people better, how to communicate better, and also get the best out of people. And you only really find that when you're working in the trenches, when you're having those conversations and you sit at home, look at the roof, and you think that chat didn't go the way it should have. So yeah, good learning under fire, and really enjoyed it. Hence why I'm still doing it.
Yeah, I think every coach has gone through those moments, mate.
Yeah,
it's for sure. Now correct me if I'm wrong. 4 kids.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and so you've been coaching at the reserves and the prem level. Mm-hmm. 4 kids. Have you had any coaching the boys?
I have done all of them.
Yeah.
So my son started when he was 4, so I would coach his team at 4:30, then go straight up to coach the top side straight after. So kind of had them the whole time. I think coaching kids is probably where I learned the most about coaching.
Yeah.
Only because you've got to coach their skill level. As they get older, their skills change, and every time you go back and do refreshers, you realise that it's not all about the backdoor plays or the best skills. It's about how can a kid learn at the level he's at and what is the cognitive ability, but also making it enjoyable for them. That it's not about the runs on the board, it's about making sure they love the sport as much as I did, and keeping it fun.
Yeah, and so the opportunity to coach your kids, have you, what you learnt there, did that transfer into your coaching in the senior ranks?
Definitely. Icebreakers. Basic things that I do with the kids, I started doing with the senior boys, and it's surprising how much more you get out of them when they're having fun at the start of training. Yep. And just realising that it doesn't have to be always X, Y, and Z in a training session. You can have a little bit of flexibility where they can create their own space or create a game and give them freedom to grow as well. It was very hard, not hard, but learning that it's not all about the wins, even doing topside. I would go back to kids and realise that winning looked different. Yes. As long as they were learning, that was winning. So I had to start applying that to my coaching. It took a couple of years for me to figure that out, that development was the real winning, not winning a Fox title or getting the trophies. Although I've had a fairly successful career so far, still understanding that it's more about the people than what's in my trophy cabinet.
Yep.
So that's pretty much what I took from coaching kids to senior footy.
The way success
is
measured looks different.
Big time.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was ego, pride, realising that. And it was through coaching courses where I would reflect on what my why was. What are my pillars of why do I coach, and really letting out when I'm looking at the roof, did I do what was best for that kid? Did I do best for their play, or was it about me? So good road so far. I've been doing it for, how old am I now? 36, so coming up 7 years in top flight, so yeah, still learning, still growing.
Very good. Always learning, always growing as a coach. That's great. You talk about some coach courses you've done in bits and pieces. That you've been able to think about your why as a coach, but who have been the coaches that you've either played under or coached alongside or watched coach that have heavily influenced your coaching?
I'd be lying if I didn't say Grant, my old man, had a big deal to it. His organisation off the football is probably what I got the most learning from. I'm a happy-go-lucky kind of kid, so I just rock up to training, set up cones and away we go. But he was very regimented on, okay, when we turn up, set amount of time for warm-up, set amount of time for the first drill, what's our lesson plan, what does it look like, and the constant refining of being better. So I learned a lot through him. Bernie Perinara he just won a Fox title at the Bears a couple of years ago. His ability to understand teaching through gameplay. So he ran game scenarios, not just goods. He would do game scenarios and the kids would learn, and then he'd just come back, draw them back in, and what'd you see? What'd you do? The question style of coaching I got from there. A chap from NZ Hockey, I learned a lot from, his name escapes me right now, but his whole ethos about getting the kids to understand their why. What do you do? Can you do it better? Can you do it better? That's all you would ask in a session. And understanding that once they understand what they're trying to achieve, they own it and they play better. So trying to pass that to adults when you're meant to get to this point or you're meant to score a try like this, letting them figure out there's more ways to play football than just one. And that kind of was who I looked up to as coaches. On a professional sense, Wayne Bennett, his ability to coach the person, not the game. I always took that into my style. And Dan Kepper from NZ League, I always have him bounce ideas off me. Well, I bounce my ideas off him. I think feedback as coaches or accountability is always big. And probably the last one, Francis Millie, a guy who achieved so much in rugby league. When I went to coach with him, he just did the basics. Made sure that the kids knew everything about football that they need to know, and then just made sure that their mechanics were right and let them play. And from there, so that's probably the guys I look up to the most.
Awesome. Great to hear some.
Half the country.
Good to hear some good local Westies in there too, mate. So that's awesome. Look, earlier this year, I put out the call. I think it was in one of the lockdowns. I put out the call for coaching quotes on our West Auckland coaching network, and there was a few that came in, and yours ended up being the most popular. Do you remember what that quote was?
A good teacher shows a kid where to look, but doesn't tell him what to see. Well,
does it? Yeah, that's I think I'm pretty sure that's what you put down. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. So the question I've got for you is, what does that mean for you, and how do you apply that to your coaching?
What that means for me, in a nutshell, is probably providing scenarios for the player or the kids to do great things. Whether I give them a grid to, when you go down the short side and you see 4 players, what do you see? I can tell you what I see, but I'm not playing for you. So it means just give them scenarios where they can figure out who they are as a player, who they are as a person outside the game, but more so really understand that their brain and their talents are theirs alone. They can create whatever they want to see with that, and what they see isn't always what I'm going to see. So they got to play what they see, heads up football, and more importantly, just really evolve as a player or a person themselves. And I'm just there to guide them. So there's no set framework about how you're meant to become a footballer or a hockey player or anything. You are your own unique player. Just take bits of myself or Mick and really just become the player you want to evolve into.
I think that's probably resonated really well with me. That comment that you make is, what do you see? We all see different, because what I see, what you see, are different. But then we're not on the field.
Yeah, big time. And I learned that in the coaching book. I'll be sitting there going, why did they not get on the short side? But he saw the open side, and it's like, I can't be out there. So if I haven't taught them how to see that in training, how they can do it come game time when it breaks down. But always coaching with questions. Yeah. Let them start becoming thinking players. It's always better than a robot.
Yep. So what's next in Zane's coaching journey?
Well, still with Maris Saints, who I've really enjoyed. Best group of young talent I've ever seen in my life. Real raw, but their heart for the club and the area, and just their ability to want to get better. It really inspires me. So I'll be there next year, me and Francis and Alex Tawa. But I'm currently running a group of 12-year-olds that are just doing their first pre-season camp. So they come in, we're just doing basically different mechanics around running. We did soccer the other day, just trying to get them skills outside of the football field. We're going to try lacrosse, just do things to see if they enjoy that and really what it is to be an athlete, but not sports specific athlete. Try different sports. So we're running that. We're running a young people's group that gets at-risk kids into sport.
Yes.
So there's a DC Academy where we're trying to target kids who have been kicked out of school or aren't set for mainstream. How do we get them into sports clubs and sports teams and showing their giftings and get them away from the crime? So that's kind of what we're doing during the summer. We're pretty busy, but enjoying it.
Oh, mate, that sounds pretty awesome. And absolutely. You've got my number, mate. I'm more than happy to come down and have a kick. And
sounds good. And AFL is always a good sport. Something new, and they'll love it, I reckon.
There's some plenty of opportunities there. That's for sure. And I'm lucky enough. Well, this year, my bit of my journey is working with local women, starting women's AFL for the first time in Auckland. So
massive.
Hopefully creating a bit of history there and get some girls down and playing some crazy football.
Well, I've got two daughters, so women's sport is the thing that I like growing the most. My daughter's playing tag, netball, rugby league, but American football, Aussie rules would be awesome as well.
Yeah.
Just the skill set and natural jumping, kicking. I'll get them down to one of your sessions.
No worries, mate. Hey, Zane, I just want to say thank you so much for your quote and sharing your journey with us today. If you've enjoyed hearing Zane's journey, give it a like. If you want to join the conversation or you'd like to share your quote and how you live it through your coaching, leave a comment down below. And if you have colleagues that are coaches, link them into the West Auckland Coaching Network, and it's a forum where we can share ideas, ask questions and help each other out as coaches. Want to again say thank you, Zane, for the chat, the good home on Lincoln Road for hosting us, and the coffees today. Always a good coffee, and talking about sport, you can't be better off. And we hope you've enjoyed the Sport Waitākere Coffee Chat. Ka kite.